Alright, hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This, of course, is another anime reaction video. Today, getting into some more Noragami. But before we get started, there's a few things on the agenda, so to speak, that I will mention before and probably, hopefully, those of you watching right now, before the actual episode starts. First thing, as mainly, this is probably the most important one, as it pertains to the potential quality of this actual video, and any potential annoyance on your all's end of things. Since it's been a while, I have not gone back and done much rewatching of things. From what I remember from the last episode, we finished with episode 8 last time, and then it's been a few months, and now we're going to go into episode 9 of Noragami Aragoto. What I do know is that we're dealing with a guy who I'm pretty sure is Ebisu. He had like the little trench coat and the shorter hair, and he has like the weapons in the OP. That's kind of like it's like kind of like Asuma from Naruto, from what I remember. And he is evil, I'm pretty sure. I don't remember exactly what's going on, but so hopefully I'll be able to at least pick up on some things. Like, it'll be like it's in the back of my mind, and when I see things again, I'll really remember. On a less serious note, I shouldn't have too much trouble remembering names. You know, I proved to myself when I was doing Gintama and Eden Zero that remembering names was honestly the least of my worries, because whatchamacallit, sorry, I got distracted, because I basically had very little trouble remembering names of characters in those series respectively when I came back even months later. If I did forget any names, it was probably just like characters that aren't that like hugely important, at least where I'm at in the series, you know. Like, I'm sure there were some like I didn't remember all of the names of the Element 4 and Eden Zero, but that's whatever. I shouldn't have forgotten too many names. I still remember, obviously, like the three like main characters, so to speak. You know, Yato, Hiyori. I don't remember her full name, but then Yuki. I think that's what his name was. I might be wrong. I'm pretty sure it's Yuki, because he met him in the Yato met him in the snow or whatever. And then Kazuma, Bishamon, Ebisu, Kofuku Ebisu, and I forget who Daisuke Ono, who I'm pretty sure that's the voice actor of like the guy that Kofuku Ebisu lives with. I can't remember if that's exactly what her name is. There are some things I definitely forgot, but I'm getting off track. The other thing was, right, what I'm going to do with the series after I finish watching the anime, because obviously I'm getting close to the end of the anime here. There's just episodes 9 through 13, and then the two Noragami Aragoto OVAs that I'll check out. And then after that, as far as I know, the manga is still ongoing, and there's been no word on a season 3 yet. Might check out the manga at some point. I already have a lot on my plate of like stuff that I started that I need to finish before I do anything else, so there's probably not going to be important until much later, but it's something that I might as well maybe start gauging interest in now, sooner rather than later, you know. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's get started with this episode. As always, unless you're new here, check down in the description below, which will take you to the full-length uncut reaction, and then after that you can come back here for the discussion, though I might be changing up how I do that. I might just have I'll figure out how I want to do it later, but yeah, that was I'm so main thing is that I'm probably still missing a lot of details from the previous episode, considering I'm jumping back in without giving myself much of a recap. I'll probably work on that. I'm not going to do any more episodes until this goes up, and then like I find out if it's like a good idea to go back and do things like that. And I might just for like safety's sake, I might not do any more Banana Fish yet either until I rewatch the first 8 episodes, just to make sure I'm not completely lost on things. I was fine with Gintama, but that was most of the episodes so far have been episodic, so that wasn't really much of a problem. I just had to remember the names. And then Eden Zero wasn't a problem either, just because I really enjoy that series. And I think that was the last series I uploaded for before I went on like 3-4 month hiatus, right? But it seems like with Banana Fish and Noragami and Arakawa, how could I forget Arakawa? Arakawa shouldn't be so bad, because that's mostly like a funny haha. There isn't too much. It's just the names that I might have trouble remembering. But yeah, this is one of those ones that I might need to go back on. So from this episode, what I remember what is probably relevant to this arc, because obviously the Kazuma Bishamon arc, I remember mostly about what happened, but as far as I know, that mostly won't really affect the actual progression of this arc. But first of all, oh boy, I I can kind of see how it might relate to what's going on. It'll relate to the overall story that's going on with uh whatever Yato's got going on. That's one of the things that I don't fully remember yet, which which I'll need to work on, so to speak. What's what the hell was I saying? I'm sorry. I'm like brain dead right now. Brain fart. But the whole going to Capia Land. The main thing is dude at the end. I don't remember him specifically from other episodes. If he did exist in other episodes, probably did as like a background character, or like very like 10 seconds of screen time in like one episode at some point. But man, I can't imagine. I don't know exactly how this will affect the next episode, and I'm gonna talk about this now instead of like going through the episode, because that's the thing I remember most, is that little bit right there. Like, homie, that's not the move to make. Whatever. I'm not gonna dwell on it too long, because that's not really what's most important. But what is important though was that Hiyori's first kiss. I don't remember, because I remember Yato that one time in one of the OVAs, he like hand over Bishamon's mouth and then kiss the back of his hand. But I don't remember. Oh wait, well, I don't think it was a kiss. End of season 1, they were really like physically close though, Yato and Hiyori. Anyway, that probably won't matter or come up. It might make things a little awkward, especially with her Hiyori and her human friends. Cause I don't know exactly what's gonna happen in next episode, but the main thing, like in the like, Hiyori's immediate reaction, her friend's immediate reaction, the guy's immediate reaction to Hiyori's immediate reaction, those might be interesting. I don't know if that's going to happen next episode, but more importantly, the implications for what this could mean for Hiyori's memories going forward, because throughout the entire time we saw those Capia Land clips, or sections rather, was her having an alright time, but feeling like she's forgetting somebody, and very clearly like she wants to be there but not with who she's with there right now. You saw the episode. And it's like the separation between Hiyori and Yato that's I'm going to say is what is like facilitating this loss of like memory of each other, because it was being said that that's what's best for her. And I think that also is partially related to the Kazuma Bishamon arc, because of the danger that Hiyori was put in because of the conflict between Yato and Bishamon. So there's a bit of connection there. Will this kiss, will it either progress, I can't speak, progress, will it progress Hiyori's like forgetting of Yato, because her like, how do I phrase this? Her emotional memories are getting overwritten, so to speak, with this guy suddenly coming on to her when she's having like an emotional, like really emotional moment where she's like forgetting something that, like, her heart is hurting. She's having one of those like she's having like a Gar moment, like it hurts inside and I don't know what to do to fix it. Because she feels like she's forgetting something that is intensely important to her life, and then guy comes out of nowhere and just like, and will not sugarcoat it, forces a kiss. Well, that's what it is, really. And so I don't know if that's gonna like fuck things up further with her not remembering Yato, or it's gonna like maybe not immediately remind her. It's like, oh fuck, there's a guy named Yato that I kind of sort of really like, but instead there's like she's like, this isn't right, you know? She's like, no, there's a different guy that I like more than you because I've seen you for 2 minutes in my life total. Get the fuck off me. And then she runs off in tears. And then she's doing like this intense search to try and figure out what she forgot, visiting places like she's familiar with, until eventually she like finds him again. But and then so putting that aside now, because that's basically all I had to say on that whole like situation that's going down. But I'm sort of starting to like Ebisu. Like, I'm not gonna say Kugaha was like a bad character, but like in terms of like personality and as a person, I didn't really care for him. I wouldn't like, I can kind of see where he's coming from. However, but with Ebisu, I kind of like, my impression of him when he was first revealed to be, or that reveal of him at the end of episode 8, from my memory of it, he was going to be like an intense villain type, you know, kind of like Kugaha. He's going to be bad guy. We fight bad guy. We get happy ending. But instead, we meet up with him, and like I was saying in the episode, it's like he's a little kid. And what was interesting is they were building. It felt like they were building up more tension with him potentially being a villain. With that scene during the colloquy, I figured something was going down because somebody was complaining about doing it again, and there was that Ebisu reveal on episode 8, right? And so it was like either, and I didn't remember why Yato was here. I don't remember if that was ever explained in episode 8. Gonna have to go back for that one. But in my mind, I don't think I said it out loud. I knew something was going to go down. Either Ebisu was going to start attacking them for whatever reason with his army of like phantoms that he named, or something was going to go down. And something obviously did go down. They figured out who were the ones doing the phantom naming things, and they collected the 7 gods of good fortune, I think is what they said. I think that's what they're named. I might be wrong. I don't remember. Was Bishamon the one doing that, naming the phantoms, or was that Kugaha? Either way, I'm pretty sure Bishamon is partially a part of it. I don't remember any of the other ones having anything to do with it. However, and I don't know exactly what happened to them, but there's like, it's Ebisu, and they were like requesting like an arrest on him. This is and then they just completely like flip everything on its head with Ebisu being like a little kid who has to rely on other people. And I don't know what's happening with this situation. I wonder if it's going to be like the council is all powerful and that they can make the decisions, but they're not actually physically that strong themselves type thing. And like, they're also corrupt, or like they look at things black and white when they don't see like the individual people. And which reminds me, that's another thing that I need to go back and see, is like the status of Yato at the end of the Bishamon arc in the first half of this season, because they said he was officially a god now, which is kind of a big deal because Yato was kind of like, I assume, like an outcast for a long time, especially because Bishamon wanted to kill him. What else? So I don't know if it'll play in this season or if it'll be later in the manga or something. The dynamic of this like council of gods or whatever, and yeah, I can't remember if they've mentioned before, but I wonder if there's like a higher being even above like these people or whatever, and that like God, so to speak, capital G God, you know what I mean? And I wonder if that's going to be one of those things where it's like he created everything, but then he just kind of like leaned back in his chair, and so they're just like trying to keep everything in order according to their wills, and they're saying it's from God, but actually he doesn't really do anything. My voice is starting to go. Let me think. Because there's got to be more that I want to say, obviously. The transition to Ebisu being more like a child is kind of cool. Izanami, I don't know if she's going to play a role further in the series. They were sort of trying to fight to escape So I hope there's more to that, because Izanami is being built up to being very strong. She is kind of scary, but her full power definitely hasn't been put on display yet. We've only been told about it so far. I really like the part where, and I could have totally believed it. That was also playing more again into that whole Ebisu's an intimidating villain, when he was like, sorry, Yato God, see you later. But then he like fucked with her because he's not negotiating with her properly. That was cool. There's seemingly some history that I'm assuming won't be too important and won't be fully explored later between Ebisu and Nora. But more importantly, something that was sort of brought up and never fully like brought into the spotlight, so to speak, at least not in the way that I would assume it would be, considering how potentially like important to Ebisu's like motivations it could be, is that he's had multiple successions. It was said multiple successions, and I remember that. I don't remember if I can describe it perfectly from memory what it was, but it was described when Kugaha wanted Bishamon to die and be rebirthed or reincarnated so he could raise her and like groom her essentially into being doing whatever he requires of her, influencing her. So allegedly, not allegedly, literally what they said was that because of the naming phantoms thing, Ebisu has had many. I don't think they gave a number. They have many successions before this current one. And what we know about successions is that they don't keep their memories afterwards. And they even directly mentioned, even though it wasn't directly related to whatever, it was mentioned that he's still had the same regalias. I assume he has to have had the same regalias through every succession, because Ebisu is just like, one of my regalias, I forget which one, was telling me that I used to have some sort of pact with with Nora, right? And what that says is that either Ebisu, when he first started it, we don't know when it started, when this whole phantom thingy started. Whenever he started it, he felt so strongly about this like method that he's trying to utilize to fight or whatever. I don't know what exactly he's doing with it. Either he felt so strongly about it that he just like remembers it in each subsequent succession, or more likely each succession his regalia is just like, hey, this is what we're doing. And like they groom him as he grows up, so to speak, into being like the previous succession and continuing the work, and then probably at some point telling him, by the way, this is like your 20th succession, and this is what we're going to keep doing. But that, at least in my mind, brings the question of who actually started this whole quest of naming phantoms. I don't recall it ever being brought up. I either I'm gonna be corrected by the show or someone in the comments. I'll take either one, but it could very well be like what Kuga was doing, which is force a succession so that he can groom her into being a certain way for certain goals. Like was it really Ebisu who decided that, or is that just what someone else wants him to think? Is that one or all of the regalia is just like they want to do this, so they're like manipulating each succession into becoming this way, and they just tell him that this is what previous you wanted, right? Or is it like even further beyond? Is it someone above all of them that's manipulating it for whatever reason? Like, is it gonna be like the war economy, Yato? He's gonna be like Metal Gear Rising, where they're doing this to fuel conflict, so that is I don't know. I'm just like making shit up so I can whatever. I've been talking for too long. I just looked over. But it'll be interesting to see where this goes next. I think I should definitely still go back and rewatch the first 8 or 9 episodes. Maybe it'll be on my own. Maybe I'll rewatch it by way of semblance of sanity, because I like their videos. It might not be wholly necessary to at least watch the rest of the season and maybe understand at least bits and pieces of it, but I think overall my understanding of the series would probably benefit from rewatching those episodes, so that's probably something I do in my own time. I mean, that's, yeah, pretty much it. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single upload in the future. Thank you for watching. Peace.